All right, ladies, and welcome to another self love conversation. As you know, this is Black History Month, and we have someone who is not new to our platform, Miss Najima Smalls. She is a writer, she is an author, she's an amazing mom, she's an emotional coach, she's an enthusiast, and she is here to talk about how we can begin to heal Black America. Najima, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Gloria, for having me. It's always a pleasure to get a chance to sit down and chat with you and your audience. So
Oh,
I'm truly excited to be here.
yes, and thank you so much for contributing to our blog this month because as we talk about Black History Month, one of the things that I tell the ladies on our platform is you gotta be able to know who you are.
That's right.
You gotta know where you're gonna go. You gotta figure out who can help you get there, and you gotta understand the person you need to become in order to get what it is that you want. Because there's a difference between the desire you have and who the person you are now,
That's true.
right? And when we turn that into the African American experience, the Black woman, we put more layers on top of that.
Hmm.
You got the trauma aspect. You got a lot of the old ways of thinking, right? When we talk about this thing to like heal Black America, especially for the woman here, what are some of the things that you think we can start doing in this day and age, especially where we are right now?
So I think that one of the things we can do is seek help. Very, very simply put, is to seek help. Gloria, last year, 2020, was a very difficult year for Black America, right? We saw, videos, very graphic videos of people being, hunted and murdered, like Ahmaud Arbery, and it watching that video gets you at a different level because you think, wow, that could be my son, my nephew, my cousin, my, whatever family member. And then we saw George Floyd die with a man's knee on his neck, right? And
Hmm.
so what happened when we saw all of that, we were triggered.
Right.
We were triggered, and what happened was we realized that there are some things inside of us that have not healed. Not so long ago, we were bullied, we were intimidated racially. Many of our family members were hunted and killed by Klansmen and other white supremacists not so long ago. So those wounds are have not healed for Black of America because we haven't had time. We were busy trying to play catch up. Our ancestors were trying to provide for us, um, and put food on the table and so forth, and trying to catch up in a world that wasn't created for them, in a system that they had a hard time adapting to.
Hmm.
So I'm sharing all of that to say right now is definitely the time for us to seek out and get help, whether it's a therapist, a life coach, tuning into a platform like the one that you created. Even if you make a point, ladies, to just say, I'm going to read um, one blog article each week from the I'm Loving Me project. That's something that can help you. So I think it's so important that we seek help.
And I agree with you. And also, I see a shift at the same time because those things have happened in 2020. You also had this awakening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you had not only, the African American female, but you just had Black people, period, who
Mm-hmm.
said, you know what? It is time for us to actually figure out what is it that we want to do with our lives and how are we going to get there. The protests with the younger people, the voting, the the marching, all of this stuff uh, that went on during that time. I believe we had time to think about what it is that's important, not only to Black people, but yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that I would tell the women on the platform is that when this awakening happens, you have to understand that there's a door that's about to open.
Mm-hmm.
And when that door opens, you have to be able to step into it. But it's like what you said, if you're not in a position where you are healed, if you're not in a position where you are not ready to grasp that, then that door that you see is just going to close, and then another one's going to open and it's going to close, and then you're going to believe that that door is not for you. Do you feel a sense that there's a shift going on right now too, and where do you feel like everything is going now that we are in this period of 2021?
You are absolutely right. I completely agree with you that there is a huge shift. I think that healing work has become a trending topic, so to speak.
Correct.
I'm so glad to see that the stigma has been removed because, quite honestly, when I was a little girl, conversations like this weren't happening.
Right.
My family members weren't having conversations like the ones that you and I are having now.
Mm-hmm.
But we are open to that. We are open to now saying, you know what? I need to heal, right? And I need to get out of my own way. And I love what you said because there are opportunities that we need that are presented for us, that are presented to us, that we come across, but sometimes we're so trapped in fear and in anxiety, and we that we don't we're not willing to take the steps necessary to foresee those opportunities, or sometimes we just sabotage the
Right.
opportunity. I know I was a serial self-sabotager back in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
I look back and great opportunities that had come my way, I totally blew it, but that was because I didn't know who I was. I
Right.
had so many unhealed emotional wounds, and I had trauma that would show up when I was triggered, and I just couldn't manage my emotions. And so that's how I got to this point, because I just got tired. I was like, listen, I got to do better.
Right.
So I,
Right.
I got to go on a journey.
Well,
So,
yeah, and you know what? It's so crazy, Najma, because we was talking about this last night in one of our little mini courses we were having, where we was talking about what we really, really want, and you just don't know just how unconscious you are
mhm,
and how much you're living in this, world of self-sabotage. You
mhm,
don't realize it until that light is shined on you. But
mhm.
that light is not shined on you until you start to experience this thing over and over again, and you decide, why in the world am I not moving forward in my life?
Right.
Like, I can see that my friend who started out with me in whatever it is that we were doing, my friend went 3 times farther than I am.
Mhm,
And here I am still trying to figure it out.
mhm.
What is the difference? They're not smarter than me. They're not better than me. They're not none of this, right? So, what is it that is holding me back? What is the wake up point where you start to say that there's something wrong? Because most of us don't know. You know what we rely on? We rely on what we've been taught when we were younger, that we get from our mothers. You got to be strong. you
Yes.
you go and you handle it anyway. If he can't do it, you get out there and do it. That's what you're supposed to do.
Mhm,
You take care of your household, you take care of all that, and you say, God damn it, I don't have it.
mhm, mhm,
You know what I'm saying? I
mhm.
don't have it together.
Right.
I want
Exactly.
to know why I can't get out here, why I have to hold all of this responsibility.
Mhm, mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that wake up point is different for each of us.
Right.
And I think the thing about it is no one can tell you when your wake up point when you've reached that point, because typically you're not going to listen. It's something you have to see for yourself. And as the saying goes, hindsight is 2020. I know for me, I look back and I was like, that was a great opportunity. But here's how I allowed my unhealed emotional wounds get
Right.
in the way of me really being able to realize that opportunity. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's different for each of us, and it's not age. You would think, at a certain point in life, you decide you want better, you want to do better, you want to be better. It's different. It
Right.
may be 28 for her, but it may be 45 for the next person. But it's really when you get, as they say, sick and tired, right? It's really
Mhm.
when you want better and you realize that you are the only thing that's holding you back.
Right.
Because we'll play the blame game, right? It's her fault, it's their fault. And mama told me this and she didn't do this, whatever. But we really got to get out of that. And it's when we get out of the blame and say, you know what? Some of this is me. What
Mhm.
am I going to do about it?
Mhm. And what I like about that is that because of this shift that's going on, right?
Mhm,
I was listening to something today that was talking about the whole idea of relationships and the evolved Black woman.
mhm,
And I know you also have your platform, the Emotional Wellness Club Hub, right? Which
mhm,
I love because it only shows that this work that we're doing, that the transformation is taking place, like the wake up is here. And I love it because now we get to start this movement of revitalizing what a woman is and how she can actually live her highest and truest self. And it's real. It
that's
is
right.
not something that she just thinks of, but she got to go to the grave hoping and wishing
Right.
and regretting all of her stuff, right?
Right.
So when I was listening to this other podcast early today, um, they were talking about how the woman is different. She used to be at home and the man would go out and work, but then when the man went off to war, they had to take care of the household, so they had to hold things down. And by the time they came back from war, the husband was like, okay, you can go back to your regular thing and let me take care of the household. And she was like, no, I actually got a job. I can
Mhm,
work and I'm getting my own money and
mhm,
I'm fine. She
mhm,
became independent,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
And so now you have the man who's saying, wow, okay, now that you're independent and you're making your own money, well, what is it that you need from me? Because the biggest thing that you needed from me was that security. And now that you don't need the security, then how am I supposed to be a man to you? Right?
mhm,
And then the woman says, okay, I need your love and I need your support.
mhm,
Because if I have your love and support, I can handle the rest.
mhm,
Right?
mhm,
But then we find out that, most of our women, when we do try to pursue this work, Najma, go through a lot of stuff where we sacrifice relationships,
mhm,
we sacrifice friendships,
mhm,
and we choose to stop the work because the journey is so lonely in the beginning
mhm,
that they believe that this is going to be the rest of their life. Can
mhm.
you actually talk about why is it important to do this work alone in the beginning?
I think, you know what, that's a great point. I think women have to be prepared, right? That this soul work will require you to spend some time alone.
That's right.
And you're gonna find as you're doing this work, as you're on this journey, that some relationships you outgrow and some relationships no longer serve you because you know what? You're now choosing you, right?
Correct.
And so that really should be the beauty of it. I know for me, I look back and I was like, wow, because there was a point when I was like, oh, I'm losing some relationships, da, da, da. But then after that, I was like, wow, you know what? it was time for that relationship to end. It was time for us to go our separate ways. I've outgrown the relationship. I'm no longer a different person. And that's what people have to realize, is that as you're evolving and changing, some people can't handle that too,
Right.
because you're a different person. You the person, they don't know how to love the new you,
Come on, girl.
the
Say it out
healed you,
loud.
the emotionally healthy you.
That's
And,
right.
and so that can be kind of tough for people, but we have to let women know up front that this is just the way it is, that this work is going to change you
That's
and
right.
change your relationships. But hang in there, because the new relationships that you build, these are going to be people that know how to love you in a healthy way, because like attracts like. So once you're moving forward and healing, you're going to attract other healed people.
Yeah. And that's ultimately what you hoping and praying for. When you say, God, just send me someone, who is kind, who's this, when you start naming all your stuff in intimate relationships and friendships and partnerships, all that stuff, you have to become that person and get on that wavelength in order to attract those kind of people.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And what I said to my group last night, because these people are falling off, or they're not or they're not your friends, or they're criticizing you and all of that, that is the old you.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you used to be,
Mm-hmm.
because you agreed with their philosophy, you agreed with how they thought,
Mm-hmm.
and it was okay. And so now that you on this new journey, they like, well, hell, where did you go, and
Right.
why do you think you better?
Mhm. Right,
Right.
absolutely. That's a great point. And but let me share this with you, Gloria. And I wrote
Yeah.
about this on my Facebook page today. One of
Hmm.
the things that we as women have to do, we have to start supporting each other and not tearing each other down,
Come
especially
on.
when it in regards to our intimate relationship. And I wrote about the whole comment, she can't keep a man, right? And
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I've said this before in my life, but what we're saying when we say that is a woman isn't valuable if she
Correct.
doesn't have a man on her arm. Now that I'm a little more mature, I realize that maybe that sister that doesn't have a man on her arm is choosing her. Maybe she has standards this high that, the average blah, 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 or the bozo can't reach.
Right.
So we got to stop. We got to learn to support each other wherever we are in that process,
That's
and
right.
understand that maybe this sister is selective, and she's in the process of doing her own soul work. I'm not going to tear her down, because
That's right.
I'd rather see her by herself than dragging along some clown.
Look, my ladies know. Look, I don't like something that give these stuff all the way out to the community.
Mhm.
Okay, I need
Mhm.
something for myself. If
Right.
you if you gonna give away it, if you gonna give it away to the community, then I ain't gotta, I don't want to participate.
Exactly.
Okay, but
Community property.
okay, shoot, we ain't gonna be sitting around the table talking about, yeah, no, we don't do that. Okay,
Exactly.
but at the same time, what I like, and I want you to, talk about your book, because I love the title,
Mhm.
right? A Black girl's guide to healing emotional wounds.
Mhm.
That is so on point to me, because it it puts and shines a light on the things that we know we need to work on,
Mhm.
so that we can actually break out and start to live our life. And it gets me excited, right? Because I strongly believe, Najima, that this is where we're going. This is like, we are in this reconstruction period where we are enlightened about what we really want, but that door can easily close, like we said.
Mhm.
And so having a platform like yours, having a platform like mine, being able to really start this movement, the 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 knowledge, the information, and really figuring out how far you can go, we're actually changing the narrative,
Mhm.
right?
That's it.
Right?
Change the community. Right. Yep. Mhm.
We changing that narrative. Tell us a little bit about the book.
So I wrote this book, The Black Girl's Guide to Healing Emotional Wounds, because my heart is for women, particularly Black women, because I believe that as women, we are the foundations, right? If you know, everything in our families and so on, it hinges on us. And so I wanted us to be whole. I wanted to share my journey, and that's in the form that it took. Me sharing my journey was in the form of a book.
Right.
And, you know, I peel back all the layers. I talk about rejection issues I experienced, shame, all of it, death, even. I talk about it all,
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted my fellow sisters to know that it's okay. Like, we've all experienced some of the same things. We've all dated the wrong guy. We all didn't feel in love. We all didn't feel pretty. We all, you know, brought in baggage to new relationships. We all had friendships that just went south, and, you know, dealing with our mothers, dealing with our fathers, the ones that were there, the ones that weren't there. All of it shapes who we are and how we are showing up. And I just wanted people to understand that you're not alone. First of all, we're all in it. And then secondly, there is a way forward. There is a path that we can take to heal. And
Mm-hmm.
so I lay out a healing process that really worked for me. And other women have read it, and it's really worked for them. But I really just wanted to start the conversation.
Right.
And because, you know, my circle now, my girlfriends and I, we're transparent. We all talk about it, like, woo, girl, had a bad day. I was in therapy today, and, you know,
That's right.
this, that, and
That's
that. We talk about it all. We're raw and real, right? But
that's
I
right.
wanted us to for other women to understand it's okay, you know,
That's
it's
right.
it's okay. And the biggest thing is, as women, I believe that we need to form a sisterhood, right? Where we're
No,
supporting each other, because
that's right.
too much, all too often, we're tearing each other down. And I'll
Mm.
tell you, I'm the first to admit that I was that girl. I
Right.
was that girl that would tear another sister down. I would gossip about her for no reason, just
Mm-hmm.
my own insecurities, you know.
Right.
Wouldn't make space for another sister, especially in the workplace, you know, or in business. I would, who is she or whatever. And that got me nowhere.
Right.
That got me nowhere. And we've got to stop that. In order for us to continue to shatter glass ceilings, we have to learn to unite and support each other. And I'll share this one thing with you. Um, During our past election process, I was in this group. It was a Facebook group, and it was Black women for Kamala Harris. And I
Mm-hmm.
will tell you, these women didn't know Kamala, but they were praying for this sister like she was a part of the family. That
Right.
sisterhood, you know, because they all recognize, if she wins, we win, right?
That's right. That's
You want
right.
to see us in that seat? Let's pray for the sister. Let's not tear her down. Let's support her, uplift her. They were raising funds for her and so on. And I thought, wow,
Yep.
this is amazing. Imagine if we all did this
Mm-hmm.
for each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where, and then I broke out and I wrote a devotional after that. It's 37 days where I take it day by day, where we heal, and
Wow.
we talk about all the same topics, but, you know, just so you can have something each day to
Right.
guide you.
I love that. And, you know, just piggybacking on what you said, you know, I always believe that we women are the church,
Mm,
meaning that we are the ones who change communities. We are the ones that change our families. Because if we are healed, we're going to heal our children.
that's
We're
it.
going to heal our husbands. We're going to heal our significant others, whoever we with. Because you know what? We're going to go back and we're going to empower them. We're going to make sure that we instill in them all the great values and everything. So, in order for you to change your community, you have to be able to change that woman, right? And the way that you start that sisterhood is you allow that sister the space to be vulnerable, because that's the biggest thing that we were not able to do because we had to hold it in, right?
Be strong, they told us.
That's right. You had to hold it in. You had to be strong. You had to get through it. You had to make it happen. And once you're able to be vulnerable and you have that space, then it's like what you said. Now we can start to heal,
That's right. Absolutely.
right? But
Absolutely.
we feel like if we are in this space and somebody, I work with is on here and I'm a little bit nervous, I don't want them to know, and I don't want to be so vulnerable in front of people that I don't know. It's like, girl, we talking about healing here.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
I
Absolutely.
don't care who he is, what's going on with me. I don't know you, you don't know me. You
Mhm.
go back and you tell a wonderful story about me. I don't care. You know what I'm
Mhm.
doing? I'm healing.
Exactly.
you know, I'm
Mhm.
healing. And that's the point. So that's why I like your book. I like your platform because it's just another layer of that journey that you take because and this is what I want you to say before we close, what the journey is like, right? What the journey is like, because we can go but so far, and we like to turn around and go back. Then we come back on and then we turn around and we go back. Then all of a sudden, the dude calls and you like, I know I shouldn't go, but I'm gonna go this time, and then I'm gonna come on back, and then I'm gonna just do my healing work. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You got to know that that is okay because that's a part of it.
That's a part of it.
Can
Part.
you speak to that?
Yes, yes. I want to start off by saying it's not easy. It's not all peaches and strawberries and, roller coaster. Oh, it is a roller coaster, more so because, some of us haven't ever taken a good hard look at ourselves. Some of us have so many things, so many hurts, so many wounds that we've buried, that we've never touched, that we've never discussed, we've never talked about. I know for me, and I wrote about it in a book, I had to get it out. There were some things in my family that I had never been able to speak of, but I
Mhm.
had to get it out. I couldn't even tell my own husband. I couldn't say it. But it was in a group of women. I'm a part of Mocha Moms as well. We had an event at my house one year, New Year's Eve, and we were all just talking. Everybody was going through their stuff. One girl was going through a divorce and so on, and we were just sharing. And I said it, and they were all looked at me like, oh. And I was like, girl, I've never been able to say this. I've never
Right.
been able to say this, but I'm here sharing it with y'all, and I felt free. I
That's
was
right.
ashamed. It felt like a ton of bricks had lifted off of me.
Right.
And so, um, we have to face those things that we've buried, ladies. We
Right.
have to, because they don't go anywhere until we face it. And part of this journey, you're gonna cry, but
A
it's
lot.
okay. You're gonna cry a lot, but it's okay to cry because crying is your body's way of saying we're healing. It's
Right.
your way of letting you know you're on the right track. You're healing. So get it out. Get it out. Again, as we talked about, it's gonna be lonely.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be times when you were just to yourself thinking and in your thoughts. But it's great because you're gonna get a new, fresh perspective on everything going on in your life. So you just have to stay the course, stay to the very end. There'll be moments that you'll want to regress and go back. Um,
And you
and
will
that, and
just,
you will
just get it right. Just come
get
back
it.
and get it
You will go back.
right.
And there will be moments where you will really want to reach out for help in this,
That's right.
because it will be tough. It will definitely be tough, but I can honestly tell you that it's worth it. It's a fight because there's some things you just won't want to accept. It was hard for me to accept certain things, and I just had to like accept that this thing happened. Just accept it, but that it's that struggle back and forth. It's like you're fighting with yourself.
Yeah, because you got that wake up call, and I used to tell people I ain't know I had mommy issues. I didn't know that
Girl.
I had all these things going on as related to like men and how I was thinking and thought, and being so independent to the point where I felt like I didn't need anything. My biggest thing was, Najima, for me, because I mean, I had, my uncles and, my older brother, and then I had younger siblings. My biggest battle is when I would have like a boyfriend and then I got married. When they would raise their voice to me, I would immediately like attack, right?
Mm,
Because I saw my aunts do it, right? Because there was no, when a male figure was being a man and being vocal to me, I took that as an attack.
mm,
And so I would just start attacking,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
And I said to myself, like, why in the world am I, like this? If the man was telling me, I think my ex-husband told me one time, why don't you just go sit down over there and let me do this? I was like, sit down,
Who are you talking to?
That's right. That's right. And then we went on this whole thing, and he's like, you don't, you got to know that I'm a man and you got to respect what I'm saying. And I'm like, well, the men in my family, we told them what to do.
Come
You
on,
see what I'm
sister.
saying? We told them what to do. We told them how they should move. And when they even tried to voice their opinion or anything like that, we will argue back and forth because that's just what it was. Because you wasn't going to tell me what to do. And now you got to tell me I have to learn this thing called submission, where I have to actually listen to what you're saying and compromise. Mm-mm,
Boy,
mm-mm.
it sounds like you and I grew up in the same family because I grew up under a lot of alpha women.
Yep,
And the same, the men, we ran the show. If you needed
that's right.
anything, you went to the women in the family. If there was anything to be said, the women in the family said it.
That's
And
right.
so that caused a lot of friction in my first couple of years of marriage. I can remember my husband and I got into an altercation about something. And for me, it was like, when my family, we fight.
That's
We
right.
feel like our voices are escalated. We curse, we do all that. My husband's like, where's all this coming from? And I was like, that's what we do in my family.
That's
It's
right.
bringing in that toxic learned behavior. And I didn't know that men needed respect
There
because
you go, girl. Me neither.
I never saw a healthy
Yep,
marriage. I never saw a healthy relationship.
that's
And
right.
so it was like, okay, it was just a lot of things I had to learn,
That's right.
and so for my children, I try to model healthy behavior,
Right.
because I just don't want them to go through the same shocks and
Right.
situations that I went through. So yeah, as women, you're right. It's
Yeah, that was a big thing for me because in my head, like I was always trained,
Mhm.
well, if they go out and do it, they're not going to do it right. So you're gonna have to wind up doing it anyway. So, we ain't gonna even go through the process of letting him do it.
That's
We're
right.
gonna do it.
That's
So both even if it was a small thing like going to the store and you tell me you ain't see the mayonnaise that I asked for. And I know if I go to the store, the mayonnaise is there because I know everybody got Hellman's, okay? But you telling me it's not there because you ain't see it, right? The next time I'm gonna say no, I'm gonna go to the store because every time you go, you never see what I'm asking for, right?
that's right.
And
That's it.
so now it's like, well, why you don't trust me? Because I don't know. Because every time I go to the store, I find what I want. When I
Exactly.
ask you to go, you can't find nothing, right?
Right. Right.
Knowing that the respect level has to be there,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But I was so, being that alpha female and being aggressive, where he started to say, like, man, I know, stuff is hard for you because of the way you grew up, but you're gonna have to chill out.
Right.
Okay.
Like, let
you
me do
know,
some.
yeah, you're gonna have to chill out. So tell
But
us how.
what? It's funny. We complain.
That's right.
The weight of the world is on our shoulders. Oh, he won't help. But we won't let him help.
We do. We do. So we always go back and forth. But the point is, and what I want you ladies to know is that when you are in your process of healing and when all of these things start to come up and you actually see why you're acting the way you're acting, don't be hard on yourself. Understand and know that this is what you were taught, this is what you will learn. You
Mhm.
had years of practice for this, and doing something different is going to require you to do a lot of work because this is something new for you,
That's right.
right? It's something new. Being submissive was something that was new for me. That's probably why I'm single, girl. You know what I'm saying? Is I don't know how to listen. I could say that, right? But, you know, looking at the whole perspective of things, where we are right now, we are healing our wounds, but we also are getting our finances together,
Yeah.
right? I know on your platform, you have financial literacy and
Mhm.
management and therapy and all
Mhm.
that stuff. And that is huge,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
That is
absolutely.
huge because now with this shift going on, it's so many things. The possibilities are endless,
Oh, yes.
you
Yeah.
know.
I'm excited.
So let us know where we could get your book, how we can, be a part of your platform, how can we follow you, everything.
Yes, yes, absolutely. You can get the book on most major outlets, Amazon.com, Barnes and Nobles online, Books a Million, Walmart.com, the Black Girl's Guide to Healing Emotional Wounds. There's a book, there's a journal, and a daily devotional. Follow me on all of the social media. There's a private page, the Black Girl's Guide to Healing Emotional Wounds, where we just share and vibe with each other and share our healing journey. Also, I'm on Instagram, Nijiama Smalls in real life. And also you can go to my website, nijiamasmalls.com. That's where you can follow me. That's where you can find out about the Emotional Wellness Hub if you're interested. So yes, that's how you can connect with me.
Najima, I had a great time talking to you. Thank you so
It's
much.
always is a pleasure, Gloria.
Yeah, and absolutely. And we need to collaborate for real because
Oh,
we're doing the
absolutely.
same thing. And I think that, the bigger the network, the more women, we can help because what we want is we want to create that space to let sis, we got you. This we don't walk down this journey and we know
Yeah, absolutely.
what we know what you're going through. Okay. And the
Absolutely.
thing is that you don't have to walk the whole way alone. You will have
Absolutely.
your sisters there to help you,
And hold your
and
hand.
help you to get to where you need to be. And I love
Absolutely.
that. I
Yes,
love that.
Lord. Thank you. It's always a pleasure. I salute you, sis.
Absolutely. And we'll talk soon. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Have a great night. Thank you, ladies.
All right. You too. Bye.
Bye bye.